I'm your girl, Barbs, lifestyle and wellness coach. Welcome to part 2 of our inner child works. Today we are looking at the adult ego state. Remember last time we looked at the parent ego state as having two sides, either the controlling parent or the nurturing parent. Today we are looking at the adult ego state. The adult ego state is the ideal state of being for any adult, whereby we are zen, we are calm, we are compassionate, we are kind, we lead by example. We are an epitome of what adulthood is all about. But sometimes that's not how it is. That's not the reality on the ground. In most cases, you discover that the child ego state or the parent ego state are actually are more inflated than the adult ego state. So it's important during inner child works to make sure that we help nurture and groom the adult ego state so that it's at the same level as the parent and the child ego states. So now, what causes the adult ego state to shrink when it's our ideal self, when it's the perfect ideal of an adult? The reason is that sometimes we do not nurture the positive aspects of ourselves, the rational, the kind, the loving, the understanding part of nature or part of ourselves, and we focus so much on controlling others or over nurturing. Both can be negative, the nurturing and the controlling. Nurturing, if it's overdone too much, that's where you end up with spoiled brats, whereby you just indulge without taking time to say no or to direct the child, or you're just too controlling. You end up having a very unhappy person growing up. Or if it's the child, if the child ego state is too inflated, it kind of squashes the adult ego state. So it's important to make sure that our adult ego state is nurtured like the other ego states, equally like the other ego states. We try to be as positive as we possibly can. There are so many things we can do. Therapy is one of them. Coaching is one of them. Self-affirmations, detoxifying from negative people, from toxic people around us, whether it's in the workplace, whether it's in the community, whether it's at home. And for us to determine the size of the adult ego state, there are so many elements at play. The first one might be our own selves. We may be self-sabotaging people. If you are a self-sabotaging person, you do not give yourself enough credit. You are always comparing yourself to other people. You think you can't be like so and so. You can't perform as much as so and so. You can't do this. You can't be that. You can't, you're always telling yourself you can't. So in the end, your adult ego state is not developed fully. And you're afraid of ruffling feathers of others because you don't know how to react or how to relate or communicate with others on an adult level, because it's something that is alien to you. It was not modeled to you. It's something it's a trait that is not in you. So you may discover that you sabotage yourself. Hence the adult ego state is small. Sometimes it's learned behaviors. The significant adults in our lives, nurturers, caregivers, parents, whoever was an adult in our life, if they did not model positive adulting, I'll say adulting, I think it's a word now, or a positive adulthood for us, we also tend to adopt those unhealthy ways of adulting that they used to engage in. We tend to be like them. Then we end up having statements like, this runs in my family. Nothing runs in your family except for your choices. You choose how you want to be. If you choose to follow the footsteps of someone who lived a toxic life, that's a choice, you understand. You cannot say it runs. Nothing is running anyway. Maybe you are running away from being a responsible, admirable role model adult, but nothing is running in your family. And then sometimes it's social. It's the people around us, the people who surround us, the people we see, the people we talk to when we are outside there, they may have an impact on how our adult ego state develops, how we relate to others. You know, there are some families whereby children must be seen and not be heard. If you are not able to voice to express yourself even in your childhood, how are you going to be able to do that when you are an adult? You'll still be like the mousy person who is just trodden all over by everyone. You are like a doormat. And sometimes abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, all kinds of abuse can make someone lose their voice. They can lead someone to being timid without being able to raise their voice or stand up for themselves or speak against things that they are not happy with. That's also a contributing factor to the adult ego state that is dysfunctional. Sometimes it's the religious people in our lives, the religious leaders. I'm not trying to bash any religion, but I'm highlighting the fact of spiritual abuse that can happen, and because of that, the locus of control in people is taken away from being internal to being external, such that you don't have control over what happens in your life, the decisions you make. You are just a victim of something, of a higher power or some other person. So that can also impact the size of the adult ego state, and how you relate to others, how you communicate, how you conduct yourself, in the end is deeply impacted by your religious beliefs. Now that I've mentioned all these ways that play a role in the size of the adult ego state and how we relate, how we communicate, how we perceive the world around us as adults, I'm going to challenge everyone to look into themselves. In which ego state are you most likely to respond to situations, to circumstances, to challenges that may happen? Are you able to continue in a rational way without involving any emotions or being angry or feeling defensive or feeling some type of way after, let's say, you're working and you receive a phone call that may be bearing very disturbing news, but you have to finish what you're doing? So how do we handle maybe disturbing news as adults? How do we handle things that may not go our way? The way we behave or we conduct ourselves in the face of challenges, in the face of maybe something out of the blue that may happen, because we don't really have control over everything that happens to us in life. Sometimes life happens and we are just there observing it or experiencing it. But how we respond to those circumstances or the situations that we find ourselves in is determined by the size of the adult ego state, and also by the kind of modeling or kind of lessons that we've picked up from all the things that we've experienced in our life, whether it's personal, it's family related, whether it's social, or it's just the environment. So it's important to look at ourselves and see, are we operating from the ideal adult space? Is that the space where we are operating from, or we are impacted by other things, or it depends on how we are feeling or what is happening in our life? Or if we're in a good space, then we are rational adults. If we are not in a good space, then we are aggressive or intimidating to others. There's so much at play that determines how we conduct ourselves, how we relate to others, how we communicate with other people. So it's important to look out for the adult ego state and see, does it need help into developing, into transforming, into growing? because we never stop growing. We never reach a destination. We never arrive, but we continue growing. We keep transforming and getting better at everything. So if you feel your adult ego state is in need and it's lacking, it's important to do something. Seek coaching, seek therapy, seek counseling, and we can help you achieve that state of being the ideal adult that everyone desires to be. That is the perfect role model for the world out there, for the young people that we impact, whose lives we touch, other adults, and just so we are in a good space, we feel good about ourselves. Thank you for joining me. Till next time.